Theatrical Shenanigans with
James Denny.
Hello there, and welcome to our halfway point episode in this current series of Theatrical Shenanigans. For this episode, like so many before, we have a brand new audio play and a guest from the theatre world to chat to, so let's not waste any time. My guest today is a multidisciplinary theatre technician, event professional, entertainer, and the owner of the fun and friendly Mudlark Creative Crew. His many and varied hats include technical maintenance for the cockpit and the Drayton Arms, as well as being a technician for 4 other theatres. He's also a rugby referee coordinator, a railway professional, and a member of the RMT's Union Disabled Members Advisory Committee. To discuss his love of all things theatre and his upcoming production of The Signalman, welcome James Denny.
Hello there.
We're thrilled to have you here. So, as always, I start at the very beginning. What got you started in the arts world?
I started when I was at school. I developed into essentially what was a technician, even though I was still sort of year 10, year 11 student. I was the sad one that turned up before the rest of the students and most of the staff, and had access to a master key. Shush, don't tell anyone. But also ended up doing my work experience there as well. So what child of year 10, year 11 would actually want to go back to school to spend another week or two there? But yeah, I did setting up lighting. I spent a lot of time dealing with cable, which is seems to have gone full circle because I'm now back doing a lot of things with cable management. So memories of the old sports hall with gaffer tape, and I'm back there again. But yeah, I once managed to plunge about a third of the entire school into darkness. Not my fault, but testing some lights. That's one of my fondest memories of the school. So yeah, so it kind of rumbled on from there. I left school, I went into amateur theatre, did mostly sound design, and a little bit of other things for a couple of community theatres, the Miller Centre and the South London Theatre. Helped run the bar for the South London Theatre, which was where everyone was rather than on stage. And yeah, it's that was basically my intro. Never looked back.
And of course, you mentioned the technical side, but you've covered many different roles through your journey from the tech through directing. Do you have a preferred hat to wear, or is it something of a as long as I'm in the theatre, I don't care kind of thing?
I mean, essentially, as long as I'm in the theatre, I think one of my biographies for a program recently mentioned that I usually spend my time under several different hats, and I'm never entirely sure which one I'm wearing at any given point. I think that one of my fondest things to do is to tech for scratch nights. They're absolute chaos, but they are so rewarding. And as long as you embrace the chaos and have the ability, which I seem to have, to keep a control on what's going on around you, then you really can have a magical time.
I do. I've had limited experience on the tech side of things myself, but one phrase that always stands out to me is a techie without an actor is fine. An actor without a techie is an idiot prattling about in the dark.
I've never heard that, but that's absolutely brilliant.
But of course, as a playwright myself, I have to ask, what made you then decide you wanted to get into the writing author side of things, and how have you found that?
I mean, I was writing poetry when I was at school, never with any kind of real conviction, but I've got a great fondness for over the top technical poetry. So, I'll write an acrostic that also has to rhyme and have several stanzas and blah, 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 or, a limerick that also has several other things in it. But essentially, I've got so many ideas in my head bursting and bumping around to get out.
Mhm.
Um, I've got a short play which I wrote about someone who was falsely accused of being involved in the swing riots, which was um, uh, way back when the Industrial Revolution got to the point of starting to mechanize things, and people had been brought into the village, into the factories, And then suddenly the employers were telling them they weren't needed anymore because everything was done on machines. So the swing riots were people rising up and smashing the machines up. So I have two lives. I'm also on the railway as well, and I'm a trade unionist on that side. So that the story about Rope as a guy who was falsely accused of being involved in the swing riots, it's a fascinating story. He was actually hung for not having been part of this smashing up party. So that's done. That's waiting for R&D. I've got about 2/3 of a novel written, with plans for probably another two or three in a series, following a girl called Iska, who is a 7 to 9 something year old girl with non-verbal autism, and she teams up with a crow, because of the parallels of non-verbal autism and non-verbal bird are quite strong. Usually crows are quite intelligent as well. So they go off and solve mysteries together, much to the absolute dismay of her parents.
I can imagine.
So the challenge for me is quietening down enough for long enough to actually write them,
Yes.
and twinned with not stopping once I've started.
Yeah, as many people I know in the arts world will say, there are never enough hours in the day as far as artists are concerned, ever.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Never ever. But then if all that wasn't enough, you also own and run your own company in the form of Mudluck Creative. What made you decide that that was a mad journey you wanted to
So,
take?
well, Mudluck Creative isn't it's not actually a company as such as a loose band of creatives. It came out of a time when I was involved in Bohemia Place. It's a market in Hackney. And I spent a year there. I have some absolutely glorious memories of my time on that, with some wonderful people who I've remained friends with. I've got several really good friends out of it, and we had this idea to form a crew to essentially run the build and break for Bankside. So putting up the gazebo, setting up the tables as we had been at Bohemia Place. And that sort of stumbled from one challenge to the next, and essentially we just do anything that comes our way, including once helping a creative move house. So it's the unifying factor in this rather strange, wonderful group of people is that we have fun, and that's just part of the glory of being in the arts to me. Is it's all intermingled. Everyone does 15 different jobs. And I challenge you to find any actor, producer, writer, director who doesn't have several other hats as well. To me, that's part of the joy. And if you can embrace that and actually enjoy yourselves, then you can actually have a really happy life.
Definitely. So, what does the rest of this year look like for you? What kind of exciting projects do you have coming up? Because obviously you're a very busy person.
Yeah, well, so I've got one of the theatre groups that I'm associated with, which is Carlton Theatre Group in Wimbledon. We've got a show coming up in Wimbledon in November. I've got the R&D for Rope, which I'm hoping to deal with in the new year. It's a play that I'm desperate to move forward. I've got a very good friend up north who's a writer who wants to collaborate on it. We just need to stop moving for long enough to actually do it. I'm planning some kind of community theatre festival, bringing together as many community theatre groups as I can get. Very, very early stages at the moment. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's something I really want to do. And then I have my big show, which is the Signalman, opening at the Drayton Arms on the 9th of December. We've got the chance to bring a Dickensian short story into a 2 act play, that I feel it deserves. It's never been dramatized in film or theatre into anything more than the short story it is. So that is the big thing coming up.
So, what made you decide that the Signalman was the one for you? Because obviously, with Dickens, everyone's seen Well, 8 different versions of Christmas Carol. Everyone's seen 8 different versions of Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, Nicholas Nickleby. The list goes on and on and on. But you take a list of obviously everything Dickens has ever done. What made it leap out at you?
Having been a career railwayman, I practically vomit every time I watch or listen to fictionalized railway. And one element of this is a chance to actually tell a story in an engaging and dramatic fashion and scare everyone rigid for Christmas. But it's also a chance to, for once, for the first time ever, do the railway aspect right. So almost fully accurate to the time period and almost fully compliant to the rule book. And we seem as a team to be achieving that without taking the drama away, which is wonderful. But also, there's some wonderful lines in the play which Dickens just threw away. For example, the fact that there's this signalman who works in a remote cutting, never sees anyone from day to day. Um, he states that he learned a language down here. That's it. That's all. That's the one line you get. So that has actually become about 2 or 3 scenes in the play. It was a wonderful chance to some complete throwaway lines that deserved more.
That sounds amazing. If we have anyone based near where you are who want to come see it, where can they get information and where can they see it? Plug
So
away.
it's the Drayton Arms in South Kensington, which is sort of an easy walk from Earls Court, West Brompton, South Kensington, and Gloucester Road. So there's no excuse. The Drayton Arms Theatre.co.uk is your place to be. Everything's on there, and all the ticket sales are on there. So there's no excuse.
And to finish, as I always ask, do you have a standout moment? A moment that when you look back makes you think, yeah, this is why I do what I do?
I've got 2 things that really bring me back every time, no matter how many times I want to walk away. And I don't think I've ever done a production where I haven't at one point or another gone, that's it, I've had enough. um, Time-coded lighting and sound design, the kind of stuff you see mostly with dance shows where the lighting punches and strobes and flashes and changes on the beats. Um, I managed to get that with a Carlton show earlier in this year, where we took Richard III and made it into a dinner party. It was wonderful. It sounds daft as hell, but it was absolutely glorious, and it made it accessible even to a Shakespeare phobe like myself. But we took the Battle of Bosworth and time code lighted it with this blackout 2-3, light 2-3, crazy and stuff like that, where I can sit back and just rather than having to operate, and just sit back and watch what I've done play out in front of me. It's just gorgeous. And the other thing is the buzz of a chaotic showcase day. I did a show with an Essex-based theatre school, with a friend of mine who had never done theatre before, and by the end of it, she was operating like a pro. We had 315 lighting and sound cues in the desk by the end of the day. I genuinely don't know how we did it. I think both of us were high as kites by the end of it, but it was amazing. It was one of the best days of my life, and that I will keep dining out on that.
So now we move on to our playwright and play for this episode. Rob Kirby is a writer, improv performer and actor from Southern California. He has an MFA in screenwriting and is a 2023 Online Improv World Champion. He talked about his main goal being to entertain the audience in any way possible, to help provide an escape for however long they're there, which I think he definitely provides in this next piece. Rob's play we'll hear shortly is called Another Life, and when talking about it, Rob says, "This is the first non-comedy straight drama I have ever written in anything. There was no specific inspiration. The idea for the ending popped into my head one day and months later was still there. I tinkered around with it a few different ways to tell the story to get to the ending and finally just sat down and wrote it." In this story, we see 4 siblings travelling to visit their former criminal kingpin father in prison for the first time in 20 years. Theatrical Shenanigans presents Another Life. by Rob Kirby.
Damn, Willie, who knew you could cook this good?
Yeah. Aren't you the one who almost burnt our whole house down cooking minute rice?
No, David, that was you. Then you tried to blame William, and then the maid, and then the dog.
Yeah, that was messed up, man.
Are you going to tell us why we're here? Don't get me wrong, I love when we're all together, but a special dinner, no kids, no husband or wives.
No, you're right. I do have something to tell you all. But first, you may want to top off your glasses of wine.
I knew it. You're dying, aren't you? What is it, cancer?
Ronnie, what the hell? Relax.
No, I'm not dying, but I did hear from Aunt Sophie the other day, and...
Oh, she's dying?
Ronnie, seriously, calm down. Just tell us what's up already.
Okay, no, she isn't dying either, but she did hear from Dad. Apparently, he has been transferred to a new prison to serve the last part of his sentence and can accept visitors. He has requested that we all go see him.
Give me that when you're done.
Calm down, guys. So, what do you think?
Wow, Dad. He wants us to go together or one by one?
I don't know, but I assumed we would all just go together.
I hate to admit this, but I don't think I have thought about Dad in over 10 years.
I know what you mean. It seems like a lifetime ago.
Did she say how he is? Did he sound good?
I don't know.
Did they move him because he's dying? Some sympathy thing?
Ron, man, seriously. What is it with you and death?
You're being quiet over there, Missy. What do you think?
I think like David. I haven't thought about Dad in years. I'm not sure I want to.
It might be hard to face him after all this time. I mean, it's been 20 years. None of us are the same people we were then. Especially me.
What do you mean by that?
I turned my back on the business when he went away.
We all did.
Not like me. I was the firstborn. I was taking on more and more responsibility. I was going to be his successor. I think he'll be disappointed in me.
He will definitely be disappointed in me.
Why do you think so?
Come on, man, you know.
Who cares what he thinks? He's been gone for 20 years. Dad cannot control any of our lives anymore. William, you've built a great life. None of us have anything to feel guilty for.
I take your vote as a no-go?
I don't see the point.
It might be good just to see him. He didn't even want us at his trial.
Yeah, his ego wanted us to remember the big, bad kingpin.
I'm sure 20 years locked away in a dark hole has taken its toll on the man. It might be hard to see him like that.
I looked it up. It's about a 9-hour train ride. I think we should go. It could be good for us and good for him. But I would only go if it's something we decide to do together.
I agree. I will go if Missy goes.
Yeah, I'm not going without you, sis. I wouldn't want to show up without you. You were always his little girl. It would kill him if we showed up and you weren't with us.
That's right. So we all go or no one goes. It's up to you, Missy. Plus, I have always wondered how we got caught. Maybe he finally knows. What do you say?
Yeah, we can make a little vacation out of it.
Just us, though. I'm not taking my kids to prison. I haven't even told them about Pop.
Me either. No kids for sure. Okay, if it's something you all want to do, I will go with you.
Wow. We are going to visit Dad. At least they have some nice scenery.
Almost makes it worth the hassle it was to get those days off work.
Tell me about it. Do you guys ever miss it?
Miss what? You mean who we were?
Yeah. All the houses, the money.
No.
Well, you make good money now, so it's a bit different for you than us.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss the money. And being treated like royalty everywhere we went?
Yeah. You remember when my basketball team got into a fight with Western High? The guy on the other team was going to punch me, but stopped when he realized who I was.
We were all there.
I swear, that guy just stood there and let me knock him out. You know, that's actually the loudest I ever heard Dad cheer for me.
I was right next to him. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
So that was nice. The money, too. I really missed the money.
You all have good jobs as well.
Don't get me wrong. I love my life now compared to then. Not worrying about money would be pretty damn good too.
Yeah, as we go through Amish country right now, it reminds me of when Dad would rent out Hershey Park or Busch Gardens just for us and our friends.
Well, those were Missy's favorite places. So of course we did that.
What? Why do you keep saying that I was the favorite?
Because you were?
Yeah, sis, come on. Thought you were the smart one.
I have no clue what you're talking about. You guys were his boys.
Oh, okay. Let's talk your 10th birthday. I got a football. You got a pony. A freaking pony.
Hey, don't talk bad about Mr. Skittles. He was the love of my life.
You have 2 kids and a husband.
I have 2 preteens. I stand by my statement.
Anyway, you didn't just get a pony. Dad gave you 3 acres of land to ride around on with him.
Well, I asked for a pony. You asked for football. Don't get mad at me because you didn't think big.
But he didn't buy me a football field to play on. Ah.
He's got you there.
And let's talk cars. What cars were we each given when we got our license?
Okay. Point taken. Wow. There are some really beautiful areas in this country. We should all travel more.
Hey, there's a cemetery up there. Look.
Seriously, Ronnie. When this is over, we have to talk.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna give you my shrink's info.
You're still in therapy?
Yep. No end in sight.
Wait, isn't that the cemetery Cousin Jamie is buried at?
One thing that has always bugged me is I've always wanted to know how he got caught. Who flipped? We've never really talked about it. Who do you guys think it was?
I always thought it was some undercover cops or something.
No way.
Yeah, no way. Too much went down for it to have been anyone that could have been a narc. Pop was so paranoid about undercover cocksuckers, as he called them, that it took years for anyone to become part of the real inner circle.
It might have been one of the business partners we traded with, or heads of one of the pipelines, since they all went down too. You never know when they could have been busted or decided to flip for a better deal.
Maybe, but I still think too much info came out on our end for any of them to know. It had to be someone close.
Vincent. I always thought it was Vincent back then. Thinking about it now, it still had to be him.
It wasn't Vincent.
How do you know? That does make sense.
Yeah, he was never arrested. No one has seen him since. He had to have flipped and be in witness protection.
Trust me, it wasn't Vincent.
Yeah, it wasn't Vincent.
How do you know?
Yeah, Ron, how do you know?
Same way you do, Will.
What?
You know the loft was my favorite spot on the compound.
You were there? Jesus, you were just a teenager. No wonder you got all fucked up.
What? What are you talking about? How do you know it wasn't Vincent?
Because Dad killed him right in front of me, okay? Blew his brains out while he was standing next to me.
What?
Dude, really? What did you do?
Nothing. I just stood there. His blood and parts of his brain were all over my body. I wanted to run outside and throw up, but I felt like Dad was testing me. So I just stood there, didn't say anything.
He was definitely testing you. And Ronnie. You saw that.
Yeah. I still see it.
Me too. You can't unsee that. I mean, I'd known Vincent my whole life, and his brains were on my arm, on my face. You can't unfeel that.
Did Dad say anything?
He told 2 guys to get rid of the body and told me to go take a shower. Longest shower I ever took in my life. Think I was in there for 2 hours.
He said it like it was nothing, like he was ordering a burger, and then just carried on the meeting like the killing of someone he's known for 20 years didn't just happen. I was really scared of Dad after that. I was scared of you after that, Will.
Damn, Ronnie, I wish you would have said something to me.
Nah, man, self-medicating was so much easier.
Okay. So it wasn't Vincent. Cross him off the list. You know, if we ever actually do find out who it was, I'll probably go up and shake his hand.
Me too.
Don't get me wrong, I miss the money. God, I miss the money. But I don't miss all that shit. Who knows what we would have seen or even done?
Guys, I'm starting to have second thoughts about this. I think I'm going to skip the visit and just go explore the city.
Ah, Ron, come on, man. You have to go. It won't be bad.
Yeah. We will all be there. You'll be fine.
I doubt Dad wants me there anyway.
Why would you say that?
10th birthdays? You want to talk about 10th birthdays? Any of you remember what I got? A pellet gun. I asked for art supplies, and I got a pellet gun. The year before I got a BB gun, I asked for art supplies every year, and every year I got some kind of toy weapon. Dad never respected me then. And he sure as hell won't respect me now.
I work in the art world. I'm not afraid of telling him that.
You trade high-end art internationally. I think Dad will probably think that's pretty fucking cool. What do you think he'll say about the man who paints the bottom of skateboards for a living?
That you're happy?
Dad respected you plenty back then.
Dave is right. He did think you were a little soft. He was just trying to toughen you up some. But he used to joke around with you more than he ever did with me or Dave. I used to be jealous of you, actually.
Jealous of me? You, his pride and joy, were jealous of me?
Yeah. Once we all reached a certain age, it was all business with us. But Dad still made time to do little things with you that he stopped doing with us. There was no room for art in the business, but I know he still loved your spirit. I think he was just trying to figure out what you could do.
Well, he sure never showed it. If it wasn't for Mom always sneaking me in art stuff or taking me to my classes, I don't think I would have made it. You know, it actually wouldn't surprise me to find out she's the one who turned on Dad.
Huh? What? Are you high right now?
I hope so. Either that or you are insane.
She was always looking out for us.
Mom loved Dad more than anything and was completely devoted to him. Only thing that matched her love for him was her fear of him. She wouldn't have turned. No way.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but Dad never let her know enough about the business. He was always keeping certain things from certain people. You probably would have had to combine the three of us and Vincent to get all the info the feds had. She couldn't have done it.
We will probably never know.
I'm fine with that. Let's just go for the visit, smile, nod, do whatever we have to do to make it nice and get back to our lives.
We are doing this visit, right, Ronnie? We said it's all of us or none of us. We won't go if you don't.
Yeah. I'm still in.
It is impossible to picture Dad living here. We had 4 huge houses.
5. You always forget the house in Greece.
5 huge houses. He could roam anywhere he wanted, and now he's in a tiny 10-by-10 cell.
I would go crazy.
And that smell. What the hell is that smell?
And this is the nice area for visitation. Can you imagine what it smells like where all the inmates are?
I'm trying not to.
A man who always did whatever he wanted, wherever he wanted. Now being told what to do and when to do it.
It's kind of surprising he's lasted this long. The last place was probably even worse.
Knowing him, I'm sure he found something to drive him to make it.
For sure. Dad's drive was insane. You guys know my neighbor, Jim, right? I don't think I ever told you he's an FBI agent. We became pretty close, and I decided to tell him my original last name and who my dad was.
Really? What did he say?
He almost had a freaking heart attack. But do you want to know what he told me? Aside from it being the biggest case in the Bureau's history when you take in all the international rings that went down too, he said Dad's operation was the single largest the country has ever seen. He said that Dad's old territory is now occupied by 6 different organizations.
Holy shit!
Yeah, cartels, the mafia, Irish, Russian, and Armenian mobs. It takes 6 of them combined to do what Dad had all by himself. Jim said they have never seen anything like it before, and haven't seen anything like it since.
Maybe he really was larger than life.
Is that really him?
You boys go on ahead and let Missy stay back a bit. I need some one-on-one time with Daddy's little girl.
Yeah, always the favorite. Does this prison have pony rides too? Okay, let's go see if Prison Coffee lives up to the hype.
Sure. It was good to see you, Pop.
Yeah, Dad, this was nice.
Oh, yes, it was, my son. I hope you all make the trek out to see me regularly.
I'm sure we'll make it back out here from time to time. Take care, Pop.
Look at them. Look at my boys. Oh, they're a bit soft now, and Ronnie's a bit of a dipshit, but my boys have grown into some good men.
Yes, they have. I'm proud of
And
them.
look at those smiles. They're smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, they look good.
So tell me, Melissa, after being here for this reunion of ours and witnessing how happy they are to see me, if you had it to do all over again, would you do what you did?
What? What?
Oh, above all else, daughter of mine, do not insult my intelligence. I know you're the reason I'm sitting here.
How?
Where do you think you got all those brains of yours from, little lady? You're staring at him.
And you haven't said anything all this time? Not even when William asked?
Oh, I'm no rat. Can't believe I raised one. It's funny that you should ask me how. For years, I was consumed with how I got caught. How did they get all that evidence? How did they know where I would be? How did the whole operation come down? I knew someone had to turn, but only a handful of people knew certain details the feds had. I didn't want to believe it, but it kept smacking me in the gut. So the how revealed the who, and that has left me one more question that has broken my heart for all these years. Why? Why did one of the people I love most in this world do this to me? Why did she ruin everything this family built over the years? What did I do to her? Didn't I give you a great life? What did I do to get you to stop loving me?
I never stopped loving you. I still love you. For the most part, you were an amazing father for a little girl.
So what happened?
The little girl grew up.
Oh, I knew you were growing up. You were always the smartest. I was grooming you to take my place, huh? You know that? I love your brothers, but you had the brains. The throne would have been yours.
I decided to start taking care of the family then, before it was too late.
What do you mean? Was it a power play? You made a power play against your own father. The whole empire crumbled. There was nothing left for you to run. Guess you were not as smart as I thought.
What I did? I didn't do it for me.
Oh, what does that mean?
I did it for my family. I did it for them.
How can you say that? The family is ruined. The money is all gone. You ripped a father away from his sons who adored and needed him.
Exactly. They adored you. They would have never left on their own.
Why would they? Were they not treated as royalties everywhere we went? The family name was one to be respected. I built that.
It's not real respect. Everyone just feared you.
Respect is respect.
That stupid fucking macho code of respect. That's what ruins lives. Let me ask you something, Dad. Before you went away, where was Grandpa? Where were your brothers, your cousins? On this little trip of ours to visit you, we could have stopped by any number of prisons or even some cemeteries to see most of our family.
What are you getting at?
I may have rushed it, but your ending was set. The cycle had to break.
So, you put me in this shithole for the rest of my life? They didn't even let me out to go to your mother's funeral. I am just glad she never knew. Would have died of a broken heart.
When she told me she wanted me to pull the plug, her final words to me were, thank you for always doing what no one else can. She knew.
Who were you to make the decision for them, huh? You could have just left on your own. No need to put me here.
Like you said when you convinced one of your soldiers to take the rap for Ronnie when he got busted for carrying those drugs. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made to protect the ones you love the most.
Oh, well, you know Ronnie would not have done well in jail.
And yet you still made him carry for you, just like you did all of us as we grew up.
So I was the sacrifice that had to be made?
It was the only way to get them out of the family business of being a shithead.
Again, I ask, who were you to make that choice for them?
I didn't make their choice. All I did was give my amazing brothers options. Any one of them could have assumed your mantle. The name alone could have started things up again. They all eventually chose not to. Without the blind following of you. They chose not to be one step away from jail or constantly looking over their shoulders to be killed.
Well, good for you. Good. I am glad you all had a choice. I wasn't so lucky. I was born into this life. I just played the hand I was dealt. And I played it better than everyone.
Bullshit. You had a choice. I was born into this life too. I left. They were born into it. They left. You could have left any time. Hell, we had enough money for generations of family. You could have retired or gone straight, but your ego needed the respect.
And all that money is gone.
Yes, the money is gone. But look at them. They are happy people. They are good people. We may not be filthy rich anymore, but we lead rich lives. We lead respectful lives. Lives that other good people respect, not out of fear, but for being a decent person. Lives that don't require us to look over our shoulders. We have regular jobs, some better than others, but we look out for each other. We have great families, with some truly amazing kids, your grandchildren, who you will never meet, and who will never know who you are. So don't ask me if I would do it all over again, because that is a resounding yes. The question you need to ask is, while you look at those 3 remarkable people over there, if you had it to do all over again, would you?
Well, that was certainly an interesting family dynamic. That was Jeff Priscorn as William, Joe Swenson as David, Dana Hall as Missy, Cole Hunter-Zubach as Ronnie, and Brian Sen as Christian, with Another Life by Rob Kirby. So, James, what did you think?
Something that struck me early on was that the siblings are painted really close knit. They care about what each other think. Something that I felt might be quite at odds with how you would expect the kids of a toppled crime lord, especially as the fractures start to show. You know, in the claustrophobia of the train journey, that closeness is still maintained. You know, it's a great device to add surprise to the that eventual denouement at the end, particularly with Missy, who's the quiet one. You know, it's quite typical of any kind of crime detective-y type drama where it's always the person you think is least obvious. And I always fall for that every time, and I didn't see that coming with this one either. I think for us, from a similar kind of angle, it's a really portable show. You get those arcs, and there's very little in the way of kind of entrance and exit, so it works as this beautiful compact moment where, you know, it works beautifully as the radio play, but could also work really well as a self-contained theatre piece, or even an immersive thing. You know.
Yeah. And I love the fact that obviously because it's quite serious and quite dark in places, it still comes with moments that you just can't fail to smile. It's like when they're talking about her pony, and she says, "He was the love of my life," And then William points out you have 2 kids and a husband. She goes, I have 2 preteens. I stand by my statement. And it's just, you can't.
That's so relatable.
I know you can't not relate to it and B just laugh, even though you know that this is obviously a very serious family with a lot of darkness behind it. There have to be those lovely moments because otherwise it's just all dark all the time.
And I think something that, and it's slightly tangential, but something that really stood out for me. I actually started feeling quite critical of Missy in the end, which I think a lot of people might find a strange reaction. But essentially, what I started feeling critical of was that, you know, she's taken the decision to rat her father out of her brother's hands. She's taken that question of, you know, the moral right versus the right of people to determine their futures. She's done the right thing morally, but she took that decision to take that moral stand away from her brothers. They're completely clueless about it. And it's totally at odds with the way the family made the decision to visit together, you know, with her having had the final vote and veto. I think the brothers would have been horrified if they'd realised that, you know, they'd given her the ultimate say on whether to visit, and actually she was the one that had taken other matters out of, you know, out of their hands. She's literally pulled the rug out from under all of them. But the question we're left with at the end of the play is she still holding all the cards, or is you know, Dad now the one holding the cards? Is he going to hold that over her and you know, make her do something for the benefit of the business, or you know, where does that go?
It kind of makes you think of whether Christian really is a villain in the sense that he's a complete villain, because obviously he's a villain to his enemies and he's a villain to the law, but as far as his own family's concerned, to at least some of them, he was just a parent. And so whether he'd actually use that as leverage, I think would put him firmly in the villain category at that point.
No, I think you're right. I don't, you know, I don't know what to expect. I'd be really keen to see or hear a sequel of this, because that's certainly something that he's going to have been sat in prison ruminating on for, you know, for a lot of years. And I suspect even he might have had times where he didn't know the answer to that question, because his instincts would have been wavering between revenge and family family support.
As far as kind of the actual bullet points of the story go, it never lets up really. You have these kind of interludes of dialogue and conversation, and just when you think, oh, this is just kind of general sibling conversation, another bomb drops. As an audience member, you're just sat there going, well, what's coming next? Because you've lured me into this so many times. I'm waiting for the next bomb to drop.
Absolutely. And that's what makes me think there's more to this story, is it's so fast paced and then it suddenly stopped, and things don't suddenly just stop.
It is if it was on television and it stopped there, part of me just wants to go, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the point where Corrie or EastEnders, you know, you get the drums.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, this is to be followed tomorrow then.
There you go, Rob. We have spoken. We need a sequel.
Definitely.
Or a full length, because that's the great thing I love about these characters, is there's so much they talk about that we never see or experience, and I think it would be such a great thing to know more about. Any of them.
100%. You know, in the same way as I pulled out so much from the Signalman from, you know, the 3 scenes from one line. You know, there's exactly the same with this. There is so much to tease out of this that could be brought into interludes, or, you know, look backs, or any other number of devices.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we are almost out of time. James, your final thoughts on the piece as a whole?
It's difficult to condense something that is already condensed so tightly. Like you said, it's a lot of bullet points. I think it's a fantastically fast-paced, compact piece of drama that stands really well on its own. but it definitely deserves either expansion or a sequel, because there's so much more of this story to be told.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Okay, sadly though, we are out of time. James, thank you so much for joining me and discussing this, and I hope the Signal one goes really, really well for you.
Thank you very much.
And that is all we have time for in this episode of Theatrical Shenanigans. I hope you enjoyed Rob's play and my lovely chat with James, and don't forget, if you're based in the UK and in the proximity of the Drayton Arms later this year, then make sure you grab a ticket for the Signalman as something new and spooky to watch for Christmas. Speaking of something new and spooky, we have another treat coming up for you this Friday on the 31st of October in the form of our Halloween special. I'll be joined by 3 other amazing playwrights to listen to their spooky plays and talk about them, so make sure you join us for that. We will then, of course, be back in 2 weeks' time for our next episode in this current series, but in the meantime now, I've been Rachel Feeney-Williams, this is Theatrical Shenanigans, bringing down the curtain and saying, I hope you can join us next time. Theatrical Shenanigans is part of an RFW Scripts production, found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts and Podbean. Theme music is written and produced by Chris Cody.